3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by our good friends at Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Oh, the lovely Shin Gear. Who doesn't love it? Who doesn't love it? I wear their bibs every single day. Phenomenal stuff.
Even in the summer?
Every single day.
Mm-hmm. I wear shin boots a bunch, and I wear a shin vest a lot. And everything they make is really good.
It is.
Their scout boots are amazing. I recommend everybody get them just for taking to the lake, around the house, working in your garden. They're the new Crocs, and they don't look stupid.
You won't get the sense of you just giving up on life by wearing the shin boots over the Crocs.
Crocs, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off because I got a lot of friends that wear Crocs, including my granddaughter wears the shit out of them. Crocs remind me of the kid that lives in mom's basement.
I think that there is a subset of people that live in mom's basement that probably wear a lot of Crocs.
Yep, I mean that's just the deal, and I understand. Well, our Bud Light friends that work on the farms and ranches up north are going to grill us to shit on this because they're Crocs. I've never understood the Crocs, and Crocs with socks really gets me because then your socks get wet from the holes in them.
Yeah,
and hats
kudos
off
to Crocs though. They've never made another product.
That's what I was just fixed to say.
They might have like fleece lined or something, but like
they gussied them up.
it's just Crocs are Crocs.
Have you been in a Croc store?
No.
I went in the Croc warehouse or the Croc shop or whatever the hell you call it at Grapevine Mills Mall last spring break. Dylan and Marley Bell went with us, and we went to Grapevine for the night, and we went to the mall, and we went in the Croc store. First of all, I could not believe there's a store just with Crocs. I can't believe there's that many people buying Crocs, and the place was packed.
Listen, when you want Crocs, you want them now. You don't want to wait 3 days.
And every different color.
You might talk yourself into making a better decision with life.
But all the shit they bedazzle them with now.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit. But the guy took a piece of plastic, made his shoe, and you know damn well his when he showed everybody that, they're like, what a dumbass. How much do you think the shoe costs? I bet those Crocs, they don't cost $3 to make them.
Probably not.
And they're selling them for, what, $50 a piece?
Yeah, they're not cheap.
I just don't get it. Anyways, I would rather have the shin boots. The shin boots look good. They're nice.
$1.
They cost $1 to make.
Yeah.
And they're selling them for $50. Smart man. I'm telling you, that's a sharp man right there.
Yeah. Yeah. He did well. I'm just pissed off that I didn't think to make an ugly shoe.
It's a widget. You got to come up with your own widget. Everybody, they're all over the place. I think about things all the time, like that Werther's candy right in front of me. Someone sells that wrapper to them, and as a wealthy man, there's a town somewhere, and they're like, "How'd they get all their money? Oh, they sell wrappers for candy."
Yeah, I bet Werther's does their own now.
Well, but they're buying something from somebody right there is making money. Well, Werther's, for example,
a big account.
It's a hard candy.
It's a big account.
Yep. When I had this sickness for the last month, this stuff with the scratchy throat, I bought some Butterfield candies, hard candies, and they have orange, watermelon, peach is my favorite. But anyways, they're out of Georgia, and they're a small town. I looked them up and stuff, and it's just a homemade candy company. But the internet has given them such a different chance. It's given them a platform to sell their stuff. But there's just all kinds of little things. Like the iPhone is what, 20 years old?
Yeah, right around there.
Okay. This here box, I don't know what kind of box this is.
Yeah.
And you've got an OtterBox on yours, right?
Yeah.
Someone at OtterBox 20 years ago was looking for something to do.
Yeah.
These new iPhones come out, and iPhone has their own protective case, right?
I don't know.
But anyways, they're like, we can come out with a
people are going to be breaking that shit. Well, and I've got the hard screen protector on there.
Yeah.
And it's privacy.
Right.
So if you're off to my right or left, you can't see what I'm looking at. So I can look at porn on airplanes.
Well, I think it's the masturbating would give that away.
Right, yeah. But if you're directly behind me, you can see it. But I think that they even make them now to where that way can't, because like it's only good left to right. It's not good top to bottom. So if you're standing there, you can still see what I'm looking at. But anyway, yeah, I mean, some just innovated, you know? They're like, hey, screens are going to start cracking. We got to figure out a way of...
I mean, it's just smart.
Making it crack resistant. And then they're like, hey, people don't want other people reading their text messages when they're on the airplane. So let's make privacy and just innovative.
I hate them
I'm
things.
not that guy, though.
But I learned the lesson the hard way like everyone else did. Pulled the old phone out and went fucking flying through the air.
Oh.
It was no good.
What do you mean?
It smashed and cracked. I didn't have my
yeah.
I'd taken my case off. I don't like them because they're so bulky and cumbersome. Because the phones have gotten bigger.
They have. Yeah, you can't put it. I mean, it's almost takes up a whole pocket.
Ponchos, my slacks, they go in. If I'm wearing jeans, I don't even wear jeans anymore. But I can't use them in jeans. I'm too damn fat still. But like the poncho shirts, perfect size.
Right.
And then the shin vest is perfect for me on the inside. I put it on it. But it's crazy how people have find a way to make a living off of someone else's invention. To do something that helps it out. So good for them. Big news. I don't know if it's big news. Well, I think it was big news. That Elon Musk and the Dragon went and got those guys off that space shuttle or the International Space Station.
The Dragon.
The Dragon's the name of that the jet that they do.
Oh,
that's what they call it. The Dragon is the name. Of it. And
6 months, wasn't it?
June.
Oh, almost a year. 9 months.
They could have got them out in July. In August, they could have got them out. In August, Musk told them we can get them out. We can get them out next week. Biden and them didn't want to do it because they didn't want to make it a win for Musk. So they put those people up there that much longer.
Political pawns, even in space.
Trump got in on January 21st or 22nd, and here we are now, March 22 months later, and they're back home.
Got them.
And got all the work done. And they would have been a week ago. They had something they were doing that they had some problems a week ago on it. But then not only that, they go and they get them out of space. They come back and they land in the water.
Yeah.
And then a guy that hunts with us picked him up in the helicopter.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to get him on the podcast. He's an interesting guy.
Man, I just couldn't imagine being up there that long. You and one other person? I mean, good God almighty. You're in a tin can, basically. I'm very particular about just everything.
Yeah, you're a weird bastard.
I am. I realize that. And the lack of privacy would wear me out. Just being around that person all the time would wear me out. Even if it was my wife, who I probably, I love more than anybody.
Outside of your boys.
Outside. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be with them for 9 months. I'm talking.
No.
If I had to pick one person to spend 9 months on a space shuttle with, it would probably be my wife.
Of course, everybody should be that way.
I don't want to spend 9 months just me and her on a space shuttle.
Oh, your mom, I would have stuck in that emergency capsule and pushed the button.
Honestly, how big could that place be? It can't be as big as these 2 rooms.
Oh, it's bigger than you think it is.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a lot bigger than you think it is. Probably the size of a school bus, maybe 2 school buses.
This is about the size of a school bus.
Look
okay, well let's say 2 school buses. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Do they have cable? Do you get to watch Netflix?
They're a fucking international spaceship. They got the internet. They got everything, I think.
That's like COVID on steroids.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I wouldn't want to be stuck up there with nobody. You can't take a shit. You can't do nothing.
No.
But
why are you flushing so many times? We got to ration our water. I'm just trying to get a clean ass,
I don't think they use water
or whatever.
I think they shit in a bag or something. But it's going to float up.
Oh,
I don't know how the bathroom works on a space shuttle. I think it sucks it down
maybe
as
they
soon
got
as
like
it comes out.
You think they got a door,
like a
that
vacuum that just
shoves it outside?
Probably shows. There's probably shit floating around.
Shit floating everywhere in space.
But I cannot imagine being stuck with someone in that space. There's nobody. You're supposed to love God.
Yeah.
Then your family.
I don't want to be with Jesus on the space shuttle for 9 months either.
No. I'm telling you right now, me and your mom are like the Costanzas anyways, or the parents off of Raymond.
Yeah.
We're becoming those people. And there's no way. And that's the person, if I had to pick someone, mom is who I would want to be with.
The food sucks, so you're not eating like gourmet food.
No,
it's all like
MREs.
It's all freezer dried and all this other shit. So like you're jonesing for a steak, and I just
they've been there for 9 months. I wonder how much water's on there.
Well, they resupplied, right?
They
get drops every once in a while.
Can they send a satellite to there with that resupplies them?
I believe that's
so. It doesn't have to be a manned capsule to get there. They can do it through.
I don't think they took 9 months worth of rations onto this 3 hour tour.
No, I think when they went up there, they weren't going to the ISS, and they had some problems, and they docked there and stayed there. I think they're added. I think there was some Russians on there or something.
Oh.
There, and you're stuck, too, with a couple of people
that
don't speak really good English, probably.
How did the stuck astronauts eat? Huh. Evidently, everybody's asking this. All meat and eggs were pre-cooked on Earth and simply needed reheating. Dehydrated food like soups, casseroles were rehydrated with water. 530-gallon freshwater tank, which also recycles astronauts' urine and sweat into drinking water. So you're drinking piss water for 9 months.
That don't even sound fun. There's a lot of things that I think that would be a cool thing to be a part of. Like to go on the Iditarod would be cool for a day.
Yeah.
For a day. I think it would be cool to ride the sled, stay in a chalet or whatever. Not the actual Iditarod, but to do a trip like that. I think that would be cool for a day. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I think adventures that would be fun for a day. Going to space absolutely is not any of it. I don't even like to fly. I can't imagine sitting back going 17,000 freaking miles an hour. But I guess you don't feel this once you're there. I don't know what the G's are you pull when you take off, but there's none of that shit. All I could think about would be Sally Ride the whole time.
This is an article from November from the New York Post. The 2 astronauts who have been stranded on the International Space Station for 5 months have been feasting on pizza, roast chicken, and even shrimp cocktails, but have very little fresh produce to supplement their diet. Why are you doing that? Doctors for the space agency are closely monitoring the health and diet of Butch and Sunita after a recent photo showed Williams looking jarringly gaunt. But it's not telling me how they got their food. But like this picture right here, it basically, I don't want to see the LL Bean.
That's a good looking sweater though.
That is a good looking sweater. It's pizza. Got pepperoni and.
Why is everything not floating around? Do they have like a...
That is floating.
It's not sitting on the ground? They can't all be... That all ain't floating.
That's up in the air right there.
So that ketchup bottle's over there.
I think if maybe if you set it down, it sits wherever you leave it.
I don't know. I wouldn't understand why the spoon would float though. But yeah, you're right. That spoon... I mean, it's just... That's weird. That
thing right there is kind of floating behind them.
Yeah.
But maybe if you can like get it stationary, it won't drift away from you. I don't know. I mean,
like, how do you put ketchup on it without going flying through the air?
I think you got to like squirt it and then like kind of catch it midair. However, the grub, which is developed at the Space Food System Laboratory at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, is limited when it comes to fresh fruit and vegetables. I just want to know how they got it. According to NASA, the ISS stocks about 3.8 pounds of food per astronaut per day with stockpile of additional food for any unexpected extension of mission. I don't think that you were expecting 9 months in travel.
No, that they weren't supposed to be there that long. But I'm like you. I wonder if they can send back in.
All meats and eggs are cooked on Earth, needed to be reheated.
Oh, they got magnetized tray with metal utensils that keeps the utensils down in the.
I wonder how your pepperonis aren't flying through the air. I just want to know what happens when they ran out of supplies, because they had to run out of supplies. They were slated to be brought back in February.
Well, just look up on there and say how did they resupply how often do they resupply the ISS?
I need to bring it over here so I can type. Hold on. I think I might have just seen something.
But they've got to have some kind of scheduling type deal. But I wonder if they can send an unmanned capsule up there. I'm sure they can. That goes right there with all their shit on it.
You would figure.
I mean, he's 61 and she's 59.
The International Space Station is resupplied by various spacecraft, including the Russian Progress, European Automated Transfer Vehicles, Japanese HII Transfer Vehicles, and American Dragon and Cygnus spacecraft, which also deliver cargo, science, and supplies to the orbiting crew. So basically they send up an unmanned thing. Somehow it docks. They pull everything out and then go from there.
That I'm not a space nerd at all.
Me neither.
But there's some things about that that's absolutely interest the hell out of me. Like I don't even like space movies. The Right Stuff was really good. What's the one with Billy Bob Thornton?
Armageddon?
Well, that's really good too. No, it's not that. It's the one with Tommy Lee Jones. They went going back to space, bunch of old guys.
Space Cowboys.
Yeah. There's some I've watched, but I'm not a big space guy at all.
Right.
But to think about, you can take a vessel and hook it with another vessel. They have an airlock that goes off. Mm-hmm. They connecting, and they're floating around up there at 17,000 miles an hour. It just is amazing. That just amazes me.
Yeah.
I mean, it really freaking does that. How and smart that we are. And then the guy that gets out on the little line and goes out
by an umbilical cord, basically. Yeah.
That line breaks. Yeah, and it was built by the cheapest bidder.
Yeah.
So I'm not. It takes a real set of balls to do that. But anyways, she's 61 and he's 59, or vice versa. How many 61 to 59-year-old people do you know that don't take some kind of prescription meds?
Right. Well, I bet they don't. I bet you got to be in such a physical phenom even to go up there.
Even people I know that take care of themselves and run are in great shape.
Yeah.
A lot of them are on blood pressure medicine or something. Like I take something to make me pee better. Because as a man, as you get older, your prostate grows. So you have it keeps it from growing as much, and so I pee better. And so, but when you get older, things like that happen.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it. It's hard to find two people that are that age that are on some sort of medicine of some sort.
But I'm sure they just send it up there. I'm sure they give them 3 months at a time worth of their drugs.
And I wonder if it changes.
I hope Viagra wasn't one of those drugs.
Yeah, no doubt. She's gonna be awful wore out by the time she get back. But what about just the little things like your body's going to change? They say they're going to have to really watch them.
They can't they couldn't walk yesterday.
No shit.
Yeah, because they've been suspended in no gravity, so they've lost all their muscle mass.
Oh, that's suck.
I saw they were basically
But it's not neuropathy. What is it called when your muscle, like you're bedridden for a long time and your muscles? There's a word for it.
Atrophy.
Yeah, atrophy.
Let's see. Yeah, they showed a video of her. They were trying to get her going, and you've been up there for 9 months with no gravity. Let me see. Astronaut walk. Let's see. Oh, of course. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't. It is absolutely amazing to think that we have got the kind of technology to do that.
Here we go. They're pulling her out. Uh-oh.
Can you turn the volume up on it?
Onto
there you
mobility
go.
Aid.
You ever sit on a toilet too long?
Right into a wheelchair.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what she's got.
There we have it. Some waves, some thumbs up, and some smiles. That leaves NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore inside Dragon in seat 4. We're getting some views of him now as he egresses or exits the spacecraft.
Who uses the word egress?
Smart people. Sit down, bub. We gotta go check you out.
Once again, some elation and cheers there from Butch Wilmore. Oh, looks like we're.
I mean, and just what if you're having a bad day? I just don't want to fucking talk to you today. I just don't want to talk to anybody. I'm done. That had to have happened in 9 months in space.
Look up how big that damn space shuttle is.
Every once in a while, you just got to have a bad day and don't want to talk to anybody. The International Space Station?
Yeah, how big it is.
358 feet long, 239 feet wide. But that's equivalent to the length of a football field. But I don't know about living quarters. So let me type that in.
Yeah, because they got them big panels all over it and stuff. Six sleeping quarters, 2 bathrooms, a gym, and a 360-degree bay window to mitigate
muscle and bone mass in human beings and microgravity, the astronauts work out at least 2 hours a day. So it says
it's an interesting deal.
It's not telling me how big it is unless you know how many 13,000 cubic feet are.
No, I don't have no clue.
Okay.
I wonder how long, what the longest anybody's ever been in space.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Russian cosmonaut was a year or two by himself.
Like I said, I don't know how big. I guess I could. How big is 13,000 cubic feet? How big is?
That's absolutely nuts.
Cubic feet. That doesn't tell me anything. It's 100,000 gallons.
What's 100,000 gallons?
13,000 cubic feet.
It's 13,000 gallons.
Yeah. No, it's 100,000 gallons.
Well, my pool holds 25,000, so 4 times bigger than my pool.
Oh, there you
Big
go. You got a
eliminate
big pool.
expense. So that would work.
Yeah.
So that's bigger than I thought it would be.
Spacious. Lots of room for activities up there.
All right, let's spin the page now and talk about some other things. I want your opinion on this.
Uh-oh.
I think we should be able. The president should through executive orders, be able to deport these people without getting some judge, district appointed judge that can overturn an executive decision. I have no problem at all with you sending anybody that's illegal here back. None. But if you're a member of that gang, like that Venezuelan gang, who in the hell wants them in their neighborhood? I say bring them back and put them in his house.
Right.
You know, he's living probably in a gated community. It doesn't affect him at all. And it blows my mind that people think that those people need to be here.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it really doesn't. The worst of the worst.
Yeah, and you're
gang members, just horrible people, and these people they're fighting to keep them here.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
That and they're doubling down on this transgender stuff now. The Democratic Party, and I hope they keep doing it because they won't win another election on that stuff.
No, they're down. They're way low.
21%.
Yeah.
But it's
They're
stuff.
screwed.
It's stuff like this. There's some things that Trump has probably done that's probably overreached his authority. There's no doubt about it. And I don't agree with everything he does. Just like nobody's going to. We're human beings. We're not going to agree on every single thing. But majority of stuff he does, I agree with. Mm-hmm. And getting rid of illegals is one of the big problems. And he campaigned on it. He said he was going to do it. And then they're shocked when he does it. You know, I think the problem is a lot of people in America don't want the guy who mows their yard or helps work on their construction crew, whatever it is, the lady that's a waitress, whatever it is, they don't want to see her go. They like her.
Yeah.
But they want to see these other people go. Well, they're both illegals. And it's
got one common thread.
That's right. And they've had most people that are illegal in this country have had plenty of time to get legal.
Yeah.
And everybody knows a sob story. If you live in West Texas, you know someone that's part of your community that's illegal.
Probably anywhere.
Well, for sure, though, in West Texas, in a town,
California,
it's everywhere you go. You're probably right, but you know somebody, and a lot of them you don't know are illegal,
right.
But they've had plenty of time to get legal, so it's not our fault.
No,
but we can't keep going on the same path we're going on, and so we're having to fix stuff. But for that judge to tell them to fly those people back is asinine.
Yeah, I don't understand how he has the authority to do it, where the president of the United States doesn't.
Yeah, elected by 80 million people, and he was appointed by Obama.
Right, and then one judge is going to be like, "Nope, they got to come back, turn it around."
And then the other judge is coming out, no, I want him to pay all that USAID deal. Well, yeah, because whoever appointed you or is in your pocket is getting their pockets taken away from. We don't want that. It blows my mind, anybody that thinks we need all this wasteful money that goes out for all this stupid shit. Mm-hmm. And there is going to be some cuts to some things that we do need.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And we need to fix them. And as time goes by, it will get fixed. I hear everybody complaining, well, there's a lot of veterans that are losing their jobs. Well, there's probably some veterans that have some jobs, cush government jobs, that we really don't need those jobs. It's nothing against the veteran. It's just there's some positions that need to be redone. Trump, like him or not, has had 500 successful businesses and he's went bankrupt in 8. Well, that's pretty good odds. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk, I don't know if he's ever went bankrupt. is a very bright man. And all I ever hear about, well, he's getting all these government contracts. Well, yeah, he just got two astronauts that nobody else could get. I mean, and he's doing stuff that's saving NASA a ton of money, and that's why they use him. Mm-hmm. Well, those two guys are businessmen, so now they're running this country like a business, and it should be with all the fraud and the waste we have.
I just think, just like anything, you just got to figure out where your money's going. And I don't know that the shutting down of all these departments is going to be permanent. I just think that we've got to figure out what's going where and then reassess what's necessary.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. Like, let's just, for 3 months, we're putting a pause on everything. I want to know where everything's going, and then we'll start slowly opening back up. Hopefully that's what he's going to do. That's what I would do.
And I saw a lot of flack yesterday that he's taken away the Biden's kids' Secret Service.
He did.
I don't understand why they have it anyways. They weren't supposed. They're not supposed to be privy. The bodyguards are there to protect you when you're in office from getting assassinated, or more with the kids being kidnapped and using you as a hostage to try to gather leverage on the government. So I don't understand why the Obama girls, why they would have any kind of government security. They weren't privy of any secrets.
You'd still be kind of worried about.
They go to freaking Coachella and all them dance deals with all them fucking rave people. You know, we shouldn't have to pay. And it's not them, the Bush girls, the same. You know? Horse-faced Chelsea Clinton, we still protecting her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what protocol is there, though. So, I mean, if Donald Jr. and Eric and all of his kids had Secret Service after his first term, I don't know. I don't know when they got.
They probably had private security because they probably didn't trust them.
Maybe, but I don't know what protocol is. I don't know how long the Bush girls had Secret Service detail.
Well, he took away the Biden kids, so I'm assuming everybody's kids lose them afterwards. The Obamas are worth about $400 million now. Big Mike and Little Barack, they can afford to give their kids private security on their own, just like anybody else that's got $400 million would.
Mm-hmm. Bush daughters have. By law, you get it for 6 months.
Okay, there you go.
4 days after leaving office, Bush signed a directive authorizing the Secret Service to provide a period of extended protection for his daughters, Jenna and Barbara. Last week, the service mistakenly said that President Obama had signed an executive order on behalf of his predecessor's daughters. Under the law, the adult children of an American president lose their Secret Service protection when their father leaves office. But following the lead of Bill Clinton, who authorized an extended period of coverage for his daughter, Chelsea, Mr. Bush made the same provision for his daughter. He signed a presidential directive on January 16, 2009. The Secret Service requested that the length of the additional protection not be disclosed.
Well, I'm good.
So it says when you leave, gigs up.
Well, you have no leverage. I say 6 months. I would be good with 6 months. Mm-hmm. You know, Hunter Biden had 17 Secret Service guys, and he was in South Africa the other day.
Yeah.
That kid right there, that guy, I don't understand. He must have a lot of shit on a lot of people.
By law, former President Bush received government protection for 10 years, and former Vice President gets it for 6 months. Well, you get screwed if you're the VP.
The VP only gets 6 months, but the president gets it for 10 years?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the president having Secret Service, 2 people for the rest of their life. I don't have an issue with that.
Just 2?
Well, or whatever the detail is, 4 people. They don't need a full scale everywhere they go stuff. I mean, they don't need to go and sweep the place before, but just have a private bodyguard. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think they need 4.
I don't know.
Who's more apt to have to deal with a problem, Taylor Swift or Michelle Obama?
Taylor Swift.
That's right. And she probably don't have 4 full-time security guards with her all the time.
And all these people are multimillionaires, so like they can all hire the best of the best. It's not like they're going back into the poorhouse, any of them.
Well, I got bad news for you. If you had to ask me to hire private guys or the Secret Service after what I noticed this summer, I'm going private.
Yeah, who do you get if you're the ex-president? Like, do you kind of get a good one?
No.
So you think? So how many living presidents do we have? Is Clinton the last one?
I think, God Almighty, we are getting old, aren't we? Clinton is last
Because
one.
Reagan's gone.
Yeah, Clinton, Bush.
Clinton and Bush are the two. Clinton, Bush, and Obama.
I bet Bush might be older than Clinton even.
Either way, I'm just thinking
Clinton,
of like
Bush,
in terms
Obama,
of
and
being
Biden.
there.
We got 4 living presidents right now.
Right. You think Clinton's got like the shitty Secret
yeah.
Service because he got out in 90 or he got out in 2000. Bush got out in 2008. So like you just kind of get worse and worse the further you've been out of office.
Well, first of all, there ain't nobody wants to work with Clinton because you got to deal with Hillary. And that's coming from an ex-Secret Service guy that hunted with me told me that.
Yeah.
She's a real witch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's not getting no A+
You're not
detail.
getting-
No, he's got the guy waiting to retire probably.
Right.
Or the young guy just out of college.
Yeah.
Now, Bill Clinton probably when he was younger was the funnest one to have because
Oh,
you
I'm
got to go
sure.
some cool places and see a lot of titties.
Right.
So, he got to go that was a good detail to be on.
Does he dump the security when he goes to Epstein Island, or you think they got to go
They actually,
be a part of all that?
No, he actually signed off and forgave his security detail a couple of times.
Really?
That's
like, we got this.
that's
Don't
what
worry.
I was told.
I'm going to a secure place.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah. Unless
I
you
can
got
see
something
that.
that can get me through syphilis or gonorrhea, I'm probably going to be all right here.
I'll catch you guys in 3 days. Take a break.
And I don't, I'll tell you who, of everybody in the past that's been in the government eye, if I thought that he was someone whose life would be in danger, and I'm shocked he's still walking around, is Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely shocked that someone that didn't have to close their business down after we found out all the lies and shit has not hammered his ass.
He's got a detail too, though, I bet.
I bet he does not either.
Not anymore?
Trump took it away.
But he did have one.
Yeah, he said he makes plenty of money on the side. He said he can afford his own. His government pension's $400,000 a year.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Did you read through any of the JFK files last night?
I read a couple pages and all I saw was Israel, 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 Israel. Tony has told me that Israel's deep state's worse than the one in the United States. I'm starting to think he's probably right.
So for those of you that don't know, JFK didn't want Israel to have nuclear capabilities. It's sounding like. And a lot of stuff is starting to point back to Israel's government getting rid of JFK.
Well, Israel also is the money behind Jeffrey Epstein.
There were a couple things. That he wanted to do away with the CIA, and he wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve or something like that. Go back to
The gold standard.
Yeah, go back to that. So he was making some waves.
I think we had the gold standard. I think LBJ's the one that removed us from
I just
the gold
read
standard.
it on Twitter.
I think
there were like 4 things that
Yeah.
got him killed. Let me see if I can find it again.
It wanted to audit the Federal Reserve, maybe.
Let me see if I can find it. I should have pinned it.
But I think LBJ took us off the gold standard in '68. Mm-hmm. So it would have been there still when JFK was in.
Let me see. How far back was it? Another interesting thing was Oswald and Jack Ruby met a week before at a bar.
Probably the titty bar that Jack Ruby owned.
But they met up, and that was in the files. So they knew each other. Here it is. This is according to Dr. Simon Goddick on Twitter. Uncomfortable truth. JFK wanted to strip the CIA of its autonomy, force AIPAC, formerly AZC, to register as a foreign agent. I don't know what any of that means. Block Israel's nuclear ambition and challenge the Federal Reserve's grip on U.S. currency. I don't know what the AIPAC
Well,
means.
if you're a conspiracy theory, that the Federal Reserve goes all the way back to the Titanic sinking.
Right.
There's a big story on that. I think that we all knew the CIA was involved.
Yeah.
You know, we knew that, or we all thought that, and that's been confirmed. Israel, it's kind of crazy though. He pissed off the Jews and the CIA, and that's not a good concoction or recipe to have mad at you.
No.
There's a lot of stories right now that they think Epstein, a lot of that's a lot of Israeli stuff on there, that they were the money to get him going and doing what he did to blackmail people from all over the world. Do you know how close we came to Israel and Egypt having a nuclear issue?
No.
In 72 or 73 or 74, 75, back in the early 70s, Israel and Egypt were in a war. I can't remember the name of it. It might have been like a 17-day war. It might have been a 1,000 in 12-day war, but there was some kind of, I could look it up, but too lazy right now. Anyways, there was a fighter jet, and I think it was an Israeli fighter jet that had a nuclear tipped missile on it that was going to Cairo, and it crashed.
Huh.
And they had to go in and recover it. Look this up. But it's something nobody ever talks about, but it did happen.
No, I never heard about that. My problem is I tried to go through some of the JFK files. It's like it's number 80,000 pages of shit.
Yeah, to read, because Michelle asked me last night. She's like, "Well, what are they saying about us?" I don't know. Well, someone, if they released it, would have gone through it. I said, "There's 80,000 documents, and not all 80,000 got left yesterday. It's going to take a week to get them."
But like I clicked on a few things, and like one PDF file would just be, I'll pull it up. Like it was just one page of nothing, but it was part of the JFK thing. So it was in there. I just can't imagine people going through it. So I am anxiously awaiting Twitter and TikTok to do its thing and tell me what I need to know, because I'm not going through all that shit. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Half of the time, the thing was so pixelated you couldn't even read what it was saying or what it was trying to had written on it. Let me see. So another thing, there was a CIA guy, Underhill, Gary Underhill. The day after the CIA, excuse me, I don't need to say that. The day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at the home of friends in New Jersey. He was agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination, he confided. He was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot dead in his Washington apartment. The coroner ruled it a suicide.
Shot himself 3 times in the head.
Basically. Yeah. And that's Gary Underhill. And he told everybody the day after that the CIA had done it. Okay. Here we go. Here is you go to archives.gov and you got everything. So yeah, this first PDF file, I was like, oh, maybe they made it easy on us. And the first one is something good. That's that. That's the whole file. It's 1 page. Don't know what any of that means.
Well, they're going to release everything that they have in their files.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you go back and look at it, so you get, what's that, like 10 PDF files? And there's 219 pages of 10 PDF files. It's literally a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, but some attorney somewhere is hiring somebody to go through all that shit right now.
I heard put it into ChatGPT and it'll tell you.
Well, there you go.
Like this one right here. Part of the file. Thank you for your letter of October 15th recommending against the declassification of the Warren Commission. Like that's all it is. Just a letter that somebody wrote saying, hey, maybe we should declassify this back in 1968. That was the file. That's it. So, needle in a haystack. I went through a couple dozen of them and I got bored because I wouldn't find anything. I even like randomly just clicked on a page and then randomly clicked on a PDF file just to see if anything was in it. Never had any luck. Nothing. And then most of the time it's written in such an odd language that I can't read it anyway. I'm one of those ones that has the 6th grade reading level. So it's not looking good if you're Israeli. But you're right. Tony's been saying for a while now that maybe they're not as helpless and innocent as we thought.
No, there's a lot of people that think that they had an inside. There's conspiracy people that think that Pearl Harbor, that the U.S. government knew Pearl Harbor was coming.
Right.
And they didn't do nothing about it. I want to think as an American that that's not true, but now what? I don't know. Well, this deals with the Jewish people is that a lot of people think that thing that where they killed all those people October 7th or what it was,
right?
That they knew about it and they didn't do nothing about it because it furthered their cause to get rid of Gaza, which is played out. So you don't know. That was the Yom Kippur War and the 6-Day War, the Israel and Egypt.
The Yom Kippur.
and then the 6-Day War. And I can't find it. I'll look for it. But I had read that there was a big, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd read it or watched a documentary about him had a plane that had a nuclear warhead that had crashed. But anyways, they did come close to having a nuclear problem there. But the Jewish people, you know, if they've got a deep state, then they're all about protecting themselves. And they're surrounded by Muslims.
Right.
And it's a shame what it's like, but they've been fighting over there for thousands of years. I saw a video the other day of Iran in 1972, showed on the street videos.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. People, beautiful women, all dressed nice and stuff. And it was before the Muslims took over.
Yeah, so look right there. It says 32,000 pages was released at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then another 31,000 pages was released at 10:30 Eastern time.
Ain't there 800,000 pages?
80,000.
80,000. So it's almost a third the way there, or over a third there, or 2/3 the way there now.
Just, God. But
90% of them papers are nothing that you want to read anyway.
nothing. There's nothing to them. Everything that I keep clicking on, there's nothing to it.
Someone will get it all put together, and in about 6 weeks, you'll have someone come out with an actual report out of this that will show you what you want to see.
I guess, but I don't know. I don't know if there is a smoking gun. Like, I think that there were just so many layers to this thing.
Well, you're also getting 60 years worth of FBI stuff, and they're hiding the good shit as much as they can. What you're wanting to read a deal that's going to say LBJ said, "Yeah, kill the son of a bitch." And hung up the red phone, and then he said, "Yeah, we're going to get the guy that's driving the car to shoot also, and we're going to."
Yeah, that's what I want. 100%. That's what I want.
You're going to have to dig between the lines to get all of that.
Don't give me all this shit about Algeria, and I don't care about any of this.
Yeah, well, someone will give a synopsis of it here pretty quick and let you know what you want to know, or give you a
Get to work, TikTok. Get to work, Twitter. Like, I don't know what any of that means. Some Delta airplane on July 30th appeared. U.S. passports, George Edward Wright. What's he got to do with anything?
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what
But he was investigated, so they had to put that into the file.
They didn't. They turned over everything. And the MLK one is going to be the same way.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, this guy was investigated for whatever reason, so this got put into the JFK file. Another thing that was in there that was interesting is JFK Jr. emailed Biden and called him a traitor.
Yes.
So he knew that back in the 90s.
Well, Biden took over in 72?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, JFK Jr. got wiped out by, it could be the deep state then, but I think it was by Hillary Clinton. So she could run for Senate in New York. That was all a set-up deal. But it's going to be really interesting when all this comes out.
It's going to take a while.
And it is going to take a while. 80,000 pages, and you're going to have some law students are going to go through things, and they're going to give you and it's funny. The left's going to see it completely different than the right does.
Right.
But anybody that knows our CIA killed a sitting president, someone tried to kill President Trump. There's no doubt about that either. Mm-hmm. Miracle of God, he's still here. Somebody does not want someone that is against the United States government in charge.
But like, I'm just looking at this. What'd you keep secret? What have we kept secret for so long?
That the CIA was in on it?
But there's nothing in here yet.
Well, but it is. You just ain't read all 80,000 pages. It's in there.
Needle in a haystack.
It's going to be. But would you...
But that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
like, so
in
far,
1966,
there hadn't been a single smoking gun yet, and we fought for 60 years to keep this private.
It's there. You just ain't found it
under wraps.
If in 1966 they would have come out and said, "Hey, LBJ was in on it. The CIA killed President Kennedy."
I haven't seen that yet, though.
It's in there. When that comes out and they said it, could you imagine them release that in 1966?
No.
I mean,
no, it would have been the end of our country, most likely.
I mean, you look at...
there would be no faith left anymore.
We don't have none now, and look what's happening.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you were President Trump, would you really feel safe with your Secret Service guarding you? Honestly.
Maybe now I would.
Would you?
Now, probably. Now that I got my people.
I would. Tony said something the other day that I thought was kind of funny, and it made kind of sense. He likes McDonald's, because the chances of getting poisoned from McDonald's are pretty slim.
I told you that.
Okay, it was you. And that
You don't
makes,
listen to me.
Okay, it was you or Tony. I didn't know who it was. That made a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, because their food standards are so high that everything, love or hate McDonald's, their food standards are high. So the odds of him getting sick from a McDonald's are very low, unless you
Not being poisoned just on. I've never heard anybody getting food poisoning from McDonald's. Now someone's going to write in.
Well, they had that quarter pounder thing where their meat was tainted. I think that was about a year ago.
See, I didn't even know nothing about it.
Yeah. But I think the quarter pounder is made fresh. It's fresh. It's fresh hamburger meat. They make it to order right there. All your other shit is pre-made.
What do you mean pre-made?
Like it's sitting in a window.
Well, they okay.
So
But
when Trump
they got
goes,
so much traffic that nothing sits more than 5 minutes anyway.
so when Trump goes and orders his Big Mac, they just pull it from something that got cooked 30 minutes ago.
So he gets a quarter pounder.
No, he's
He's a Big Mac guy.
a Big Mac guy.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. But he's not getting anything that's cooked to order. He's just getting something that's pulled off shelves. They had no idea Trump was coming.
Right.
So they can't poison him.
Right. That makes sense.
I think. I didn't work at McDonald's, but this is what I think. But so far, the JFK thing, it's been out 12 hours, and I've been very disappointed.
And let's clarify this for McDonald's. They're making their stuff fresh. They just pre-cook a bunch of stuff. Like they'll make 20 Big Macs at once because they're going out the window all the time.
Yeah. Bam, bam,
but
bam.
a quarter pounder, they do not make until you order it.
Made to order. That's why they hate you ordering the quarter pounder.
Then why do they sell it then?
Well, it's money.
Why do they pre-make? Why don't they pre-do them like the rest of them?
That's
the same freaking thing.
That's the allure of the quarter pounder, Jeff. You want it fresh, right? Cooked to order? Order a quarter pounder. You want something else? Might have been sitting in the
Cooked
window.
to order. It's not Whataburger.
What do you mean?
There ain't nothing I can stand going to McDonald's. People start cutting shit off their food.
Yeah.
If you don't like McDonald's the way it comes, don't eat there. Like, can you get the pickles removed? Yeah, take your bun and pick your pickles off.
No, because that shit's still on there.
Oh,
if you
bullshit.
get something with tomatoes and onions, that's all you taste is the tomato and the onion.
Well, they don't
Even if you pull it off.
Well, the onions at McDonald's are terrible.
There
I don't know what they are. I think they were grown in the 60s and they're still freeze dried from the 1960s. They're terrible. You know, there's a company right there. There's somebody out there selling McDonald's and little pickles that don't taste very good either.
Right.
And making a lot of money. How do they get all their money? Oh, they sell all the pickles at McDonald's.
Are made to order. Quarter pounder with cheese. It's the only one. I was right. Quarter pounder with cheese is the only burger on the menu that is cooked fresh to order, meaning patty is cooked when you order it. That's what, yep.
You know, I had a hamburger the other day and I was absolutely impressed by how good it was. It's a local place. What do you think it was?
I don't know.
Dairy Queen.
Oh, no.
A belt buster at Dairy Queen or just their Hunger Buster, whatever their hamburger. It was very good. It reminded me of reminded me of Whataburger back when Whataburger was a good hamburger.
Trump's order is 2 Big Macs, two fish fillet sandwiches, and a large chocolate shake. That's his order.
Good God Almighty!
At 79 years old,
he eats 2 Big Macs,
2 fish fillet sandwiches, and a large chocolate shake. And I think he loves his Diet Coke.
I don't like Big Macs, and not my favorite. I'm a quarter pounder guy if I'm gonna eat at McDonald's.
That's right, because it's made to order. It's fresh. You love it.
And their fish fillets are good.
I've never had a fish fillet.
They put too much tartar sauce on. My buddy Mark, when he was drunk when we were in high school, he'd order a fish fillet. He'd get a Big Mac, and he was at the Donald Trump diet, matter of fact. It was a Big Mac and a fries, whatever, probably drinking beer. And then he would always order just a fish fillet sandwich by itself.
Yeah.
But he would do the same thing. He'd take it off, and he'd pull the bun off, and he'd slather half of the tartar sauce on the styrofoam would come in, then he'd eat it. They're good. Their fish fillet sandwich is a good sandwich.
I've never had it.
My favorite thing at McDonald's is their nuggets.
Nuggets are good.
My favorite thing that they have are chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I wonder if everything's going to get brought back to getting cooked in beef tallow. I saw a bunch of restaurants are already kind of jumping on board with that since we got RFK Jr.
I hope McDonald's goes back to French fries or beef tallow.
That's what they say. They say they were great back then.
They were. They were really good. They were a lot better than they are now for sure.
But he loves him. It's him. And McDonald's should be happy. Like, is there a greater free advertising than the president of the United States eating your shit?
No. And catches shit on the left all the time when he does it.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald's should be just jumping over the moon that he's going to you all the time.
The problem with McDonald's is they're so politically correct about everything.
I bet
You know?
I bet if Obama was on Air Force One chowing down at McDonald's, they'd repost it.
Well, yeah, because that was part of that woke message they're trying. That's what they wanted. Here's a person that's half black, president. He's married to a tranny. I mean, he fits everything for the woke deal, and he's eating McDonald's.
When's that file going to come out?
That she has a penis.
Yeah. When are we going to see her physical?
Would you be? I know how you feel. I honestly don't know very many people that really think she's a female. And now this divorce stuff going on and stuff, you know. And I think she was the husband in that relationship.
I don't know.
If she is a woman, I absolutely feel sorry for her. I mean, I do.
For people calling her
could you imagine that?
No.
I mean, really honestly, to know, because she knows people talk about it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Big Mike.
To know that people think I'm a man.
Am I that ugly, Barack?
Well, she is.
It's not my type, but...
No, I like my women that have a penis, that don't have a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if she really is a female, I really, really, really would feel sorry for her. But she's irrelevant now. You know, her and her brother had their own podcast that came out.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Two Dudes podcast or whatever it's called. But anyways.
2 bears, 1 cave.
Yeah. She, nobody's listening to it.
Oh.
Nobody cares what she has to say anymore. She's irrelevant.
Yeah.
She don't have Oprah propping her up, you know, and her come dancing with her schlong bouncing all over the place on Ellen.
One thing Kash Patel said about the JFK file is that we already know everything. He's like, everything's already out there. We just got a couple small dots we got to connect. Because evidently he knows.
About what?
The JFK files.
Yeah, and that's what
he told Glenn Beck. He said, everybody already knows. There's just some dots that you got to connect as the public. He's like, but basically that there is no smoking gun. Like,
no,
everything's already out there.
Yeah, LBJ was in on it.
That's going to be so disappointing if that's really all it is.
What would you expect? I mean, what were you
I don't know. Like,
you know, Timothy that lives down the street shot him?
No, like I wanted to know. I want to know how many shooters there were.
That's going to be in that report.
I don't think. Do you think that we're going to get an accurate report?
Yes, I do. I think someone will go in there and transcribe all that stuff, and they'll release.
Like I want to know about the grassy knoll.
You're going to have a new movie come out too eventually.
I'm sure. I want to know. You know, Lee Harvey Oswald, the Jack Ruby connection, the just everything. How many people were there? How many people were in on it?
Well, Lee Harvey Oswald
was the removing of the cab, you know, something that they had planned all along.
JFK's the one that wanted that.
But they had the cab on, and he said take it off.
Yeah, and that's
it was a sunny day.
And he liked to talk to the people. He also, when they landed at DS, I watched a documentary a couple years ago. And it was the actual timeline, video timeline of. Have you seen that?
I think I have.
And it shows them landing at DFW. They leave Carswell at Fort Worth, or not Carswell, Meacham Field in Fort Worth. They land in at Love Field, and he gets out and goes over to the fence and starts shaking people's hands, kind of like the current president we have, just very people friendly. Mm-hmm. And they said his maybe I read that in, is it Glenn Hill? What's the guy's name? That's the 7 Presidents book I read.
Yeah, Clint Hill.
Clint Hill. I think, and I might have got that out of reading Clint Hill's deal, but that he would go over and shake hands on the fence with people, and he just hated it. Mm-hmm. And anyways, that documentary shows him, and it's funny because it's 1963, and it shows the news guys. They're sitting there, got cigarettes in their hand, it's cigarette smoke, and they're doing a live broadcast on WFAA in Dallas, and they go through the whole thing. Here we're turning here on Mockingbird, we're doing this and that. And then after he's shot, and boy, by the end of the deal, man, them fucker guys are haggard looking. I mean, it's been there 10 hours.
Roger Stone says that JFK was also a meth head. He had gotten addicted to methamphetamine.
From his back surgeries, probably.
Addicted to coke, meth, steroids, and other hormones.
Probably true. But I don't discount any of that. You know, they had a swimming pool in the White House, too. Did you know that?
Yes.
He used to dabble with secretaries in the secretary pool there.
Right. None of that, but I want to know about that. I want to know about his drug addiction.
What about him and Marilyn Monroe?
I want to know about, are we going to find out about Marilyn Monroe in these documents?
That's nothing to do with his getting assassinated.
It might. It's got to do with her getting assassinated, probably.
You're probably right.
I just mean like
did she get assassinated because of what she did to the mob?
What'd she do to the mob?
Well, she was sleeping with John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy Jr., or Robert Kennedy Sr., and she was having an affair with Frank Sinatra, supposedly, and some other mob people, and they would send her to Tahoe all the time.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, so Dr. Feelgood was the German medic that was
Treating
in
John F.
charge
Kennedy?
of injecting methamphetamine into his neck.
Well, I don't know that you're not going to find every little detail you want like Marilyn Monroe, but I think the actual getting killed and all that stuff is going to come out more and more.
I sure hope so.
I mean, the government is involved, and 50
Probably,
years
sounds
from
like multiple governments were involved
50,
in this.
yeah, in 50 years from now, you're going to find out the Trump deal. What's going to be?
I bet not.
I think you're going to hear pretty quick.
I think
what happened is they're going to try to blame it on Iran or Iraq or one of them countries.
The Trump?
No, yeah, the Trump deal.
Oh.
They're going to try to put it off on them. Oh, they were paying a guy to.
I'd say Ukraine.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I thought I'd read just a day or two ago that one of the Trump assassins had connections to Ukraine.
Could be then. I think it's going to be one of the Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, somebody like that.
I still think that's probably closer to the JFK thing than
Saudi Arabia?
no, our own, inside of our own circle of government. Trying to do away with them.
There was a big faction that was wanting to do that. Look, because of what's happening right now. He has pulled the plug on the free money in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Pulled it completely. What do you think about, change it up for a second off JFK then. What do you think about somehow in the middle of a war with Russia, Ukraine has somehow started building $1 billion ski resort?
Oh, good for them.
On the Polish deal, it's going to have 5,500 hotel rooms.
Whew. I didn't realize skiing was so good over there.
I'm sure the mountains is beautiful. Europe's, there's a lot of that going on there.
In Ukraine?
I'm assuming. I mean, Europe's just like America is. I mean, you got mountains. That whole area over there's got tons of big mountains.
Well, good for them. That's another thing. Like I've seen videos from inside of Kyiv, during this time of war, and got a hell of a nightlife. It does not look like France did in World War II.
I'm sure there were some parts of Paris that had been the Germans had taken over and done it for themselves. That the French just gave up. They didn't fight it out. I think Paris was taken in a day or some shit.
Easy now. They're wanting to take back the Statue of Liberty.
Screw them. But I don't. And I'm off. I wasn't there. I'm sure there were some areas that did a lot of fighting, but I don't think Paris really got pummeled real bad. And it may have. I don't know. I'm way out of line on this because I don't know. But I've seen pictures of the German guys there. Well, but you don't see pictures of areas like in London during when the British were getting bombed every night by the Germans. You didn't see the British people having a big bunch of parties and shit.
Right.
They were locked down and huddled up while they were getting bombed. The shit bombed out of them every night.
Let's see.
But yeah, there's something that's not right in that Ukraine deal.
This is during World War II, Paris experienced German occupation from 1940 to 1944, marked by shortages, restrictions, and the rise of the French resistance, culminating in the city's liberation by Allied forces in August of 1944. After the fall of France in 1940, Paris became the capital of the German-occupied zone. The French government moved. The Germans arrested and deported Jews, including nearly 30,000 foreign and stateless Jews in 1942. I can't get anything about the nightlife. Here we go. Despite the occupation, some forms of nightlife and culture continued, with famous clubs and artists starting their careers during this time. The curfew in Paris was not enforced as strictly as in other cities. The Django Reinhardt song Nuage gained notoriety among both French and German fans. So
I think that,
evidently there was still a little bit of
I think that, but I don't think they bombed the shit out of it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I think it was more or less, I think it was Charles de Gaulle, the president then, or the prime minister, or whatever. I think he just fucking gave up and left.
Well, they're going to come get our Statue of Liberty.
No, they won't either. First of all, I've been to that thing a couple of times. You just ain't going to fucking go pick it up and stick it on a boat and bring it home. That's a big son of a gun.
They might.
No, they won't. That ain't going to happen. They're not going to let that happen.
Pull that bitch up.
Now, if somebody like AOC become president or the dipshit in California become president, not only would we give it to them, we'd probably also give them part of Manhattan or something too to go with it. You know, kind of like we gave away the Panama Canal.
For us mistreating them.
Yeah. For standing up for our own self.
Our mistreatment of the French people under Trump's reign.
Bunch of pussies.
I'll tell you what, there's a new show on Netflix I'm sure you're excited about. It's about the Joplin tornado.
I don't like shows like that.
Why? It goes inside the day for all the kids at Joplin.
It probably pretty. I don't watch. I hadn't watched the new Twister movie yet. I saw it's on Amazon Prime.
I'm not going to watch that, but I would watch a documentary.
I like the first Twister. I may watch it. I don't know. I
didn't realize this, but they said that the day before, so May 21st, I've only seen like the first 10 minutes of it before I came out here. Some religious nut said that May 21st was going to be the end of times. So a lot of the kids at Joplin partied all night and then woke up the 22nd hungover for this end of the world party. And then May 22nd, we all know what happens.
Well,
deadly.
I've lived in a town when you have one of those situations happen, and it's a very frightening kind of come back to earth type deal moment for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I was a kid, so I didn't really have much aspirations other than, you know, being a fifth grader. But could you imagine being 30 years old, starting a business, doing everything right, and then Mother Nature comes and wipes out everything you had?
Yeah.
Everything.
So I don't know much about the Joplin tornado, but it's obviously centered around this documentary centered around these high school kids. And I've seen the trailer, and it looks like there were kids still in school, but the tornado didn't hit. It was 5:30.
Yeah, but I think there was some sports going on and stuff.
Let me see.
Oh no, I've seen some video of that tornado that hit that hospital there.
Yeah,
with the weatherproof doors and shit, just like I did in Oklahoma City at the Moore tornado. Mm-hmm. And some of them doors ain't as weatherproof as they think they are.
Right. Yeah. That was also the El Reno day.
Yeah, that some guys got killed. I was at Lawton the day before on the 21st chasing with right next to them guys that got killed. That Tim Smargin or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They were right. And that might have been a couple of days before us. We were all parked between Altus and Lawton. That road that goes back towards Snyder is where we were sitting parked waiting on the storms to come from the west. And those same guys got killed like 2 or 3 days later.
Oh, no. Not the same day. Same sequence. So the same weather event. This was May 22nd. Joplin was. El Reno was 2 days later. May 24th.
What day? What year was that?
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to watch it. It seemed interesting, but I just I thought it happened like at 2:30 or whatever. Just based off of like, because it shows like video like inside an auditorium and kids are all running and everything. Like I thought it hit like during school. Thunderstorm began developing between 2 and 3 p.m. over southeast Kansas and quickly became severe, and thunderstorm development continued to move east. Forecasters became more concerned about the imminent tornado development. A tornado warning for the severe thunderstorm west of Joplin that eventually produced the EF5 tornado was first issued at 5:17 p.m., 17 minutes before it touched down and 19 minutes before it entered the city of Joplin.
What's the wind mile? Did it say how the miles per hour on
that? Over 200 miles an hour.
Because the tornado that hit, I think it was Alabama or Arkansas the other night, had 190 mile an hour winds.
Right.
That's the thing with these stand-up shelters, and I've talked about this before on here. Don't buy a stand-up storm shelter at all. There's some guy right now that bought one. His wife's like, "What'd he say?" Mm-hmm. Because he was telling her to buy it. Don't buy one. It's dangerous as hell. Yeah, it can take 300, 400 mile an hour winds, but it cannot take a Ford F-250 being thrown into your shelter at 190 miles an hour. And if you want to know how to test it, get a car and drive into it going 50 miles an hour and see what happens at shelter. And then times that by about 4.
Yeah.
They're not safe. It just blows my mind, people that buy them. They're a safe room. Yeah, if someone's shooting outside your house, you'd be safe in that room probably and all the other situations. But it is not safe for a tornado if it's going to throw a car into it.
Right.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a damn straw stuck through a telephone pole before and seen it with my own eyes. If you get enough fast to throw a straw through a telephone pole, imagine what it's going to do through a Chevy through your. And it could be one of them little cheap little fucking cars, the Le Car thing, whatever it is.
The insurance payout was the highest in Missouri history, breaking the previous record of $2 billion from a hailstorm of April 10th, 2001. The tornado was the 5th out of 6 total EF5s that occurred during 2011.
I wonder if we're fixed to see a bunch of insurance companies drop Midwest plate people before long.
They're dropping everybody else.
You know, the Metroplex just got hit with a big hailstorm the other day. And windstorm 2 days. When we had wind, they had actual thunderstorms there and stuff. And I saw where a solar field up around Mount Pleasant or somewhere in that area got wiped out by hail, a solar field. I don't know what the answer is with insurance companies. I mean, it's going to come to a point where you're just going to have to afford, you know what? I just can't afford $1,000 a month for home insurance or $1,500 a month.
Pray to God this bitch doesn't burn down.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I really believe that we're going to see eventually insurance companies go to like a major medical type, major catastrophe insurance.
Right.
We're going to cover fires and we're going to cover tornadoes. We're not covering hail. We're not covering thunderstorms. We're not covering floods. If your dumbass dog gets out and bites somebody, we're not covering that. That's on your own ass. But we're just going to cover fire and, you know,
major shit.
Yeah. There used to be some insurance policies that did not cover acts of war.
Oh, wow.
So if you know, you get attacked by somebody, they don't cover it.
Right.
And also some of them that didn't cover earthquakes.
I'm sure.
Now, we're starting to have more and more earthquakes here. We had one again the other night.
Yeah, I don't know if my homeowner's insurance will cover an earthquake.
Does yours even cover floods? Because you're not in a flood.
We're not in a flood zone.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. But if my house floods, your house is going to be 10 foot underwater.
Right.
Because your house has gotten water in it a couple of times because of the way that. Did you get that fixed finally where it can't come in no more?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we're not in a flood zone. And I don't know about earthquakes. Probably not covered.
I've never looked at my.
I guarantee you it's
I trust
probably
Bill,
not.
and Bill's selling me whatever he's got at his own house probably. So
It's just, why are you going to insure something that
we've never had a bad earthquake.
never going to
here.
have? Yeah, we've never had.
Well,
before.
you better.
Yeah.
There had one the other day that was 5.1 on the Richter scale southwest of here, about 80 miles.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't feel it. Did you?
No.
I have felt 2 of them though. The biggest one I felt, the doors, like, you know when someone opens one door and the doors are sealed and the other one will slam shut. It was like a whoof.
Tell you what, I'm starting to get concerned about our weather pattern we're having here.
Oh, you mean the drought that's fixing to kick off?
Right.
We're gonna start getting rain about April 15th.
I don't.
You write it down.
Sheesh.
And we're going to have good rains, but it's going to be April, May, and June. If something happens and we don't have rain April, May, and June, it's going to be awful dire for these guys that plant all these wheat guys.
I mean, this is the third day in a week and a half where the winds have just been unbearable. I don't ever remember.
How many days?
We had today and the last night, and we had Friday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, we've all had big winds.
Yeah, but that's typical.
We had 40-mile-an-hour winds Monday.
I don't know if it went that high. But like last night, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Friday, 60-mile-an-hour winds. The Tuesday before that was in the 50s.
It's cranking right now.
That's what I mean.
And it's dust. Could you imagine the Dust Bowl days?
But I remember 2011 and everything was dry. I don't remember the wind in 2011 like this.
Well, I'm sure it probably was. We just didn't know it. But we need some rain.
I just think that we're in for a tough spring. I hope it rains mid-April.
If we don't get some rain in the next 3 months, as dry as it is with this wind,
bad.
We're lucky. We have one playa that we'll have that's full still, so we'll have plenty. We'll have water.
Yeah,
but the damn farmers with this wheat. There's no cattle hardly on it. The ones they're pawing between dirt to find the grass to eat.
Yeah.
I saw where Altus the other day had been 110 days without a quarter of an inch of rain.
There might be some geese moving around again.
I saw a flock of birds yesterday.
No, I just mean with as big as the drought area is, like there might be some hot spots pop up out of this.
I saw a flock of geese yesterday. It's the latest I've seen a flock of geese and I can remember.
They got to be like, what hellhole are we in?
And they were dark geese.
Wow.
They were specks.
Huh.
Like 20, 25 of them.
It's hot and the wind's blowing.
They were holding on, I'm telling you. They were flying north to south, so because they're coming off Davis.
God bless them.
5:30. I couldn't believe it, or 6, 7:30. This damn time change has got me so screwed up.
Yeah.
I hate this time change.
Yeah.
Hate it. I would rather, It get dark at 7 o'clock, then 9 o'clock. You know, Stacy Coker and me were on the phone the other day, and he's talking to me the other day, and he goes, "What? How much sun y'all like you still have?" It was 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it was 6 o'clock." I said, "Oh, we got 2.5 hours of light still." He said, "It's already getting dark here. All them trees and stuff where they're at." And I don't know what side of he lives on he's on the very, he's in Attila, Alabama. So that would be, he would be on the very far end of the central time zone.
I don't know.
That'd be crazy. So you're driving to go pick your puppy up?
I guess. I don't know. I hadn't got the logistics done yet. Still a month and a half away.
That's a long drive.
We'll figure it out.
You know, you used to be able to fly a puppy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll worry. I've got this motto that I live by. I don't worry about shit until I step in it. I am a 5 days out kind of guy. Don't fucking talk to me about anything that's 3 months away. When we get inside that 5 day window, we'll start worrying about it. That's the life I live, and it is freeing.
Well, your mom raised 2 quirky ass kids.
5 days out, that's when I start worrying about it.
Thank God for Zach on the quirkiness.
I'll extend it maybe to like 7 days, but past that, I don't give a fuck. I got too much. I got my window right here. Right here. I can't do anything. I can't worry about it if it's further than a week out. Got too much other shit.
No, you do have that.
So, live by it.
Well, we have shot the shit on everything going on in the world, which is not basically much. I saw Aaron Rodgers is not going to sign with Minnesota. They passed on him.
Yeah.
They said they're going to go with J.J. McCarthy. I hope that kid's good because, man, they got a lot. They got the foundation for a great deal.
I saw that they're going to trade for Kirk Cousins at the draft.
Well, that would be a really good move for them. And let
draft night, Kirk Cousins back to Minnesota.
I would take him in my fantasy draft then again.
Nah.
I would late. I think he'd be a good pickup late.
Nah.
Yep.
Going with McCarthy. Going with young blood.
If they're trading for that deal, they're starting Cousins. They're not going to do it. So do you think Aaron Rodgers ends up with the Giants or Pittsburgh?
Probably Pittsburgh.
Or is he smart and going to play it and be smart and stay in shape, waiting see if somebody gets hurt over the summer and then signs with somebody? It's a contender.
That could be too.
Because the Giants and Pittsburgh's a contender because they got such a good defense.
Yeah.
And they've got some receivers now with DK and George Pickens is still there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Might just fucking hang it up. He's got enough money.
Okay, we got 3 weeks before the draft, and I'm going to be gone when it happens, damn it. So tell me, when do you think Shedeur Sanders, do you think he's a first-round pick?
Yes.
Because of the scarcity of that position?
Yeah, he'll be a first-round pick. Probably a top 10 pick.
I think someone's going to be a big bust if he does.
Yeah, well.
And I might be completely wrong on that. I think the only quarterback taken that's going to be – Cam Ward's got a chance in the Jackson Dart kid. I think the rest of them is just going to be – and I don't think – and Shedeur may be really, really good. But I just – in the NFL, you have to be able to make the throws to win. And that's what Justin Fields' problem is. He cannot make the throws.
Right.
They were talking – yesterday I was listening about if it's the Jets, I'd take that kid from – have you seen the kid at Arizona's wide receiver?
Yes.
Tutoria T-Mac or whatever they call him. Kid's 6'4", weighs about 225 and runs
an Adonis
and runs 4.40.
Yeah.
So that's DK Metcalf.
Right.
Pundit come out yesterday and he said, "Man, I wish the Jets would get him." He said, "Boy, put him and Garrett Wilson together." And he said, "Can't wait to see Justin Fields throw the ball 10 feet over his head too." So yeah, that's where I think Shedeur's going to get into it. And we'll see. His problem is his dad's a pain in the ass to everybody. And I like the message his dad has Dion trying to negotiate with him and stuff and he only certain teams he's going to go to. He's going to go to whoever will draft him. Mm-hmm. Bottom line to the whole deal.
Before we get off of here, what do you think about Michigan DNR to gas Canada geese at problematic sites?
They did that in Wichita Falls 2 years ago at the college. And boy, they got a bunch of all the tofu eating tree huggers got all pissed off.
All the hunters are pissed off. Somebody in the podcast group mentioned that they were.
Are there places you can hunt?
Let's see. So this is fox2detroit.com. In the worst case scenario, the DNR is now gathering up and culling groups of Canada geese instead of moving them to sanctuaries. What the geese face is fearful and disgusting, says Matt Lyson. Big picture view, the DNR's new protocol on how they deal with them is controversial. When it comes to problematic nuisance geese, the DNR will euthanize them due to a number of factors, including the possibility of spreading the bird flu.
Oh, God.
This is sort of the last effort that solves a problem from the site where there's having human goose conflicts. To me, this article is reading like golf course geese.
I don't have
City geese.
I don't have a problem with them. No different than I do at Pecan Plantation, getting rid of their deer and other places. I got no issue with that. I got a problem with if it's someplace that hunters could hunt them.
Barnes, a waterfowl expert with the DNR, says this method is reserved for serious human goose conflict situations. In the past, the DNR did relocate geese, but were moving up to 10,000 a year. The program, Barnes says, was not sustainable. Ultimately, they will be humanely euthanized. We are using an American Veterinarian Medical Association approved euthanasia method. The DNR will round the geese up and then gas them on site.
See, that's what they did in Wichita Falls. They took a trailer. They had 200 geese at a little park right there at the college, and they shit all over the place on the walking paths, and they were everywhere. Well, they rounded them up and gassed them. Well, people were raising hell. Why didn't you give them away? Well, same thing is happening in Michigan. If you'd have taken those geese from Midwestern and you'd have drove them to another place in town or 5 miles away at a lake, they'd have ended up right back in that same spot within a week.
For now, the dead geese will just be taken to a landfill. The DNR is working to implement a program to process the meat safely. Barnes stresses that this is a last resort. The problematic sites must qualify. We are strongly recommending the sites try a number of non-lethal techniques before we land here, says the lady that's fighting for the geese. As for license, he hopes the DNR changes its programs to protect these birds. You will never put a dent in the population of the Canada geese. Never.
Those birds, if they're on local little community ponds and stuff, you can't go in there with decoys and go shoot them.
Right.
Then they're going to be raising hell at you for that. If you trap them and you cut their wings and you take them somewhere else, as soon as their wings grow back, the adult birds are probably going to go back to the same spot.
Right.
That would be interesting to do a case study and study that. Are they going to go back to the same place? I would love to have two different pair of breeding birds here of the big graders. I'd leave it up on the pond up here. Mm-hmm. So if you know anybody that's got any, I would like to have two pair. But I don't. You
can get them from Michigan,
right? But I don't want to get them, and then as soon as they get their flight wings, they fly off and go back, and they don't have to come back. I would like to have two pair to sit here and let them have babies. I think it'd be cool to have about 20 graders, Canadas around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what city this is or where they're doing this in Michigan. It does not sound like every Canada goose in Michigan is going to get euthanized.
No, it's just
nuisance
birds.
I don't know if this is in Detroit. I don't know. It didn't say. It just said at problematic sites, and that's kind of vague for me because I don't know a whole lot about what's going on in Michigan or where these things are going on.
You remember when we stayed at Michigan?
Yeah.
And there was a flock of 20 or 30 big geese that stayed on the lake, and they'd go from yard to yard. And the guy said, "Do not feed them birds in my yard. I'll never get rid of them."
Right.
They don't want that, and I don't blame them. Could you imagine walking out in your backyard and having goose shit all over every place?
Right. So, I don't know.
They're an adaptive bird, boy.
But it just doesn't seem like hunters can't eliminate this problem if they never leave town, right? Like
you can't set up an elementary school pond.
This said here that they were moving up to 10,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Probably from place to place to place.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless you're going to set up on the city park, but it's going to be about the only way you can do it.
That's exactly what the problem is. Or at an elementary school or a high school that's got a pond out in front of it, and there's 30 geese out there every day.
Right.
You see videos of them in parking lots chasing people down and stuff. I mean, they're so adaptive. I mean, I was in Denver, Colorado one time. We went to eat dinner and come out of a restaurant, and I hear honk, honk, look around, and there's two graders walking around the parking lot with bands on their legs.
Yeah.
They're just drinking out of the puddles in the parking lot. They don't.
Right.
They have no boundaries.
And like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of what Michigan has done, but it sounds like they have done things, nothing's worked, and this is kind of the last ditch effort.
Well, my only
right or wrong, whatever.
My only problem I have with that whole thing is
the waste of meat.
Yes,
yeah,
and I'm not going to eat a goose.
No, but somebody will.
But I know coon asses that love them geese.
Well, and
I know there's a coon ass that hunts with us that will drive to Michigan if you're going to give him 1,000 goose breast.
yeah,
Or they don't want the breast; they want the whole damn bird.
yeah,
And if Michigan's going to do that, they ought to clean the birds. Because I'm telling you right now, if you kill something as a hunter up there and you don't do something with it, that's wanton waste.
sure,
And what they're doing is wanton waste.
yeah, 100%.
There's food banks. You can make sausage. I don't like geese, but this summer sausage we get with the geese and cheese and jalapenos, I love that stuff. Mm-hmm. So they're doing wanton waste. They should have to do something with the animals. You know, that I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of the thumb in the eye, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go kill X amount of geese and just throw them in a landfill.
Yeah, but if you kill one bird and you don't make a proper retrieve on that, by God, we're going to give you a ticket.
we're gonna hammer your ass.
Yeah, so yeah, that's very hypocritical on their part.
Right.
But I don't have an answer
Even
for
snow
that.
geese, like right, like you can't just, even though it's conservation season and we're going after this nuisance snow goose, you still got to properly discard of them.
Yes.
You can't just go throw 50 snow geese in a ditch, even though they're a nuisance. And that's what this conservation season's for. We got to get the number of snow geese under control at any cost, but you got to clean it.
Ugh.
You got to leave a wing attached if you're doing all these other things. But the government's going to step in.
Do you have to leave wing attached on during snow goose on conservation season too, I wonder?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would assume any migratory bird, but
That's
if you're
the
not,
rules.
if,
But
I don't know. That's an interesting question I've never thought of because there's nothing else in season. So what could you get that meat?
I mean, you could shoot a speckle belly and say that it's, I mean, because they're with snow geese.
So I would say probably so. I would say you probably have to, just to make sure that you're not shooting something that you're not supposed to.
There was
So uneducated answer is yes, you do.
There was a guy in the early 90s in Arkansas that had, or it was Arkansas or Louisiana, had found out he had a remote control airplane.
Yeah.
And he could fly the airplane off these birds and he could steer them. They would be scared of it and he could push them down and make them fly low. And so guys were going on hunts with him and they would sit by this refuge or wherever he was at and they'd go sit around this fence line and he would push these birds to them and they'd shoot the shit out of these geese.
Yeah.
Well, he got in trouble and arrested for it, harassing geese. And I understand that. But during a conservation season, if anything counts, that ought to be, if you're going to want to get rid of birds, then do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, dynamite, whatever.
Yeah. But it's just, once again,
Common sense.
well, the federal government just, we'll do it how we want. But by God, you follow the fucking rules when you're out there. That's the part that upsets me more than, trying to get rid of all these geese. Figure out what to do with the meat. Don't have laws that you're going to stick it to the common person. And then when you're in charge of getting rid of the nuisance birds, you just dump them.
Yeah, when there's food banks and there's all kinds of stuff. The game warden in Michigan right now is like, God, don't say that shit. I don't want to have to clean a bunch of damn birds. But you would think that you could donate them. There are people out there that like to eat geese that would take some birds. There's a lot of them out there. Find somewhere, and there's homeless shelters and there's food banks.
Yeah, but so I've got a funny story. Somebody that I know, they had a community garden. Community garden. Anybody can go out there. They planted all this delicious vegetables, okra, corn, squash, cucumbers, you name it. You know what ended up happening?
No,
It rotted.
because nobody would work.
Nobody would go pick it. They grew all this stuff up, free to whoever wants it. All you got to do is go get it. It rotted. They had to throw it away. So I disagree with you. I don't think anybody would be like, oh, yeah, I'm so hungry. Give me that goose. I'll do what it takes. When you have an example like the community garden that just sits there and fucking rots.
Our game warden from a long time ago told me that used to drive him crazy. He said to be a family out there that's hungry, who's and someone had run over a deer or hit a deer. I'd get an animal that I'd confiscate for evidence. And he said, we don't store them forever, so we give them to someone. And he goes, I used to always try to find someone that could use some meat.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's crazy. If I was going to clean the animal, they'd take it.
Yeah.
But Dad's not going to get his ass out of the house to come clean the deal. Oh yeah, I'll take it. Is it clean? No, I gutted it and that's it. Oh, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Well, my father-in-law the same way. He's got this big garden he does every year, and he'll deliver fresh vegetables as, when they have an excess of everything. But if he goes out of town and he's like, hey, go get what you want.
And nobody will show up.
No. Nobody.
I would be afraid to go over there because I'm afraid I'd pick the wrong shit and I'd get Charlie mad at me.
I think you just get what you want.
And he don't care?
Well, when they're gone, I mean, it's just going to sit there on the vine and fall off anyway.
Well, I heard the story about the kid taking the peach from him, so I don't know if I want to get involved with that. But he's a great gardener. And he gardens more. He can't eat everything he gardens.
No, they can a bunch and give a bunch away, but give it away if he's delivering it.
That's crazy.
Not if you got to go pick it yourself.
Well, I'll go buy and get some pickled beets when they get them all canned because she makes the best beets in the whole world. But you can keep all the damn squash they grow. There you go.
But anyway.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. I'll be at Bass Classic in Fort Worth this weekend. Come to the Onum Boss booth. I'll be there. Come by and say hi to me. I'd love to meet you. Take care of yourself. God bless you and have a great week.
Stay safe. Watch for deer. Go check out all of our cool sponsors. Go check out Pacific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25. That's 25% off at checkout. Whatever you order, 25% off. Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, MLR Graphics, Stanfield Outfitters, Mallard Bay, and Mitch Hall Chevrolet.